Good to go.
Right.
Do
Yo,
it.
what up? We're back.
Hang on, I got a text message. Maybe we're not ready. Need the water thing. Hang on, 1 sec. I'll be back. Keep this in if you want. Hang on.
Hello.
Hi.
We are actually here this time.
Yes.
No
Thank you.
distractions.
Apologies for that. It was a great start after 6 months of not recording anything pretty much to then stop. So business as usual.
Yep. So
And I've got a new background and new setup. Hence I'm there, but the monitor's there.
as do I,
Yeah.
because my
And
as a
showing you, man.
as a tribute, the picture is here because it fell off the wall.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get one. Definitely. Saying to Andrew actually beforehand that I didn't realise or remember how much that guy was an idol and how much he helped like me through times of like when he blew up and not being able to dream of something else. It's pretty sad.
Yeah,
So-
which I was saying as well, like the amount of people that have posted something about him, or I've seen so many stories about him, just how he interacted with him. Like, it's just crazy the amount of, to say that it was never like really the top of any sort of motorsport, but he's brought so much popularity to quite a large area of motorsport. Even
I think just car culture.
well,
in
yeah,
general.
exactly. Not
Yeah.
even like a specific. Obviously, he was famous for rallycross, drifting, rallying,
Yeah.
all that stuff. But it's still brought so much popularity to every form of motorsport or every form of car culture.
That's it. It's mad. That was a crazy. I mean, the video was just going to be like, where did we go in 2022? And then maybe a bit on 2023, although I'm going to do a vid on Monday about my plans. But then it was like, wow, 2023, KENBLOCK, gone. And then you got another, Flatty also went, the British rallycross driver, who competed last year in the RX2Es as well, which was cool. Mad. What
Yeah.
a mad start to a mad year.
Crazy start to the year. So, on to brighter things then. Recap of last year.
I'm not quite sure that's bright.
Well, yeah, I was thinking that. It's probably not
I
really.
mean, that was like a really bad choice of words.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we wanted to just do a vid. We're back, basically. I'm back to a place where I can kind of record again, hopefully, and also look to, start pushing the vlog side of things as well. But we really wanted to kind of get back to I suppose what we started on, talking absolute crap.
Definitely.
And people, for whatever reason, seem to enjoy it.
Yeah, so we're gonna have that again, that weekly video of us, like he says, talking crap. Looking at, trying to find stuff that's happened in the past week, whether it be funny stuff, informative stuff, looking at what motorsport's been on, all that kind of
You
stuff.
on the meme collection,
Yeah.
obviously, or the meme, depending how old you are.
Yeah.
And I mean, like next week, for instance, I'm going to talk about. There's a post in Spotter Sour on Facebook that was linking to a video about what needs to happen to Rallycross to improve Rallycross, and I think it's great. And reading the comments, so I'm going to talk about that because I want to get your opinion on that as well. So yeah, it's cool. So we're back, and yeah, like I say, Monday will be more. I'll try and make it kind of more vloggy a little bit, but for this Monday, will be a bit about what the plans are for 2023. Certainly for myself.
Yep.
I think Andrew's going to get a kind of in there, then what that kind of helps for the channel. Sort of coincidentally, kind of long term for the channel with the passing of Block, I've realised there was stuff that I kind of mentioned to you when we first started that I really wanted to do. And I kind of lost track, I think, a little bit of that because of personal stresses, and certainly with 2022.
Yeah.
So that's back on there. But yeah, 2022, mad year. When we started January time, we'd have been out of the pandemic in 21, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of back end of there. And I'm trying to think back to the early parts of January,
Well,
sort of Jan, Feb, March.
So like my Fiesta had an oil leak
It did.
and it had
Still
no
has an oil
MOT,
leak.
which it still has, but I have all the parts to fix it now.
So that's taken a year.
Yeah, so we'll touch on that a bit more next week. But
Yeah, because that's part of your plans. Yeah,
things are going in the right direction, shall we say?
Yeah. I mean, just mad, isn't it? I think 2022, like, I had so many plans. So
Yeah.
to kind of go back really to 2022 and what the plans were, there was a lot of obviously for Rallycross. So I was looking at obviously continuing to make the BTRDA and to kind of try and not necessarily showcase that, but to be able to vlog that a lot more and to be able to get more kind of video and content out there. And obviously the British Five Nations. But I'd also talked with just a few drivers at the time. So that would have been Brad with the Evo, who competed in Supercar that year. So the idea was to kind of do this behind the scenes vlog with him of those kind of battles he was facing, of being on a budget, not having the budget really for the class, to compete with those guys, but the passion that he was kind of putting into that. And then other drivers like Wesley Wickens, who drives the Mini, he was kind of coming back from, again, it was this Club Mini budget-y. Why is your thingy keep firing up, doing all that thing again? We sorted that out last year.
I'll just mute it when I'm not talking.
Cool. Yeah, so like with these drivers, so I had a lot in the pipeline and there was a lot of things wanting to do. There was obviously myself there with some projects trying to kind of get forward. Now, what happened was we got to March and my partner went in for massive surgery. Yeah, it would have been March, wasn't it, the first one? We kind of knew it was coming. We didn't understand quite the impacts that was going to have. So this surgery, we have tried for probably nearly a decade to kind of get something to sort of resolve these issues that Elle was having. And it got to where we finally got to see this specialist. And, he looked at it. I told him the background and the story, which is linked to sort of like another thing of this channel, childhood abuse, and the awareness of that. And this guy on this specialist, there's only two basically specialists who can do this op, and they both basically came together to try and fix the issue. Now, it turns out they cannot fix it, and he's stated that, but it was a chance of making a difference. So the operation went ahead in March. It would have been, I think, 6 hours of vascular radiology. So a lot of, the amount of tests and things kind of going on in the early part of that year. There were people coming up from all over the country to do these specific tests. And, in the end, it was very positive, but it was about a 3 or 4 month recovery. I was bedbound for a month, and realistically not able to move much for about 2 or 3 months. So that kind of changed things up an awful lot. Part 2 of that was actually supposed to happen November. It didn't. It was supposed to happen yesterday. It didn't. So now my actual impact now on 2023 is possible, but at least we're aware of it. And while things are going to possibly change a little bit again, we're going to actually keep doing things and keep doing because, that's what we do. So March, April time, even into May for me was just not something that even kind of realised the implications of how bad this was going. Nobody kind of did. And we were in and out of hospital probably 4 times with being rushed in to scan things because there were like a hematoma that had created because they'd moved her too quickly. The size of a pineapple, apparently, when he scanned it, that were causing issues on the nerves on the legs. There's at one point we thought the function of the leg might be even, like it was crazy. It was a crazy, crazy time, and that kind of wipes out the first part of that season for me, and I think mentally as well, just gone. And I think we were still sort of posting videos up around then.
Yeah, I think until sort of mid part of year.
Yeah. There wasn't any of the vlogging stuff, but we were kind of doing stuff. We'd done a couple of interviews, but I was getting quite overwhelmed with everything going on. Thought, you obviously kind of took over a little bit on some of the things of just the recording aspects and the uploading aspect. But, I think it was a real shame because we'd got a nice little bit of, I think, momentum behind us in 2021.
Yeah.
And, we'd go somewhere and people would kind of like know us and like at the BTRDA awards, I had somebody telling me like how glad they were that we were trying to do what we were doing because of, it was helping out the drivers, and in their case, it was a junior. And you start to get a few people saying this, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. We're just talking crap, really. That's how we started. So yeah, that kind of went west, and then we still continued. We uploaded stuff. We did a few bits and pieces, and then kind of like mid-year. What happened mid-year? Your car was still off the road, wasn't it?
Yep.
Funnily enough, that didn't change. But I started then to, probably because I was on a midlife crisis, I started looking at, okay, what can I get realistically to race? And that's also when I came more sort of friends with Jamie McBain, who, as you know, is a very, very good friend. And the Saxo was born. I'm trying to think when I actually got the Saxo.
I thought you didn't buy that last year, but I thought you'd buy a year before. But yeah,
no, it will last year because I was going to buy it. Or I think I'd been messaged about it earlier on in the year, and I think I'd just gone, fuck it, yeah, all right, I'll have it. It was a good deal. The car had been used previously. It was pre-built. Very little that needed to be done, but it took months for it to kind of happen. It took quite a while, but so I'd say sort of the mid to end of the years when it actually came out, it was going to happen in the end.
I'm just trying to look now through his messages to see if I can find it. I think the first time... No, that's not it.
First time I mentioned it, that was early 2022. Because I was looking to try and... So basically, when we've done that, I was looking to then compete at the back end of 2022. In fact, I reckon the first time I messaged was just before the operation.
I can't even see a picture of it up until like you'd already got it by that point.
Yeah, because I got sent those pictures early, didn't I?
No,
I reckon
that's
it was
not
just
it.
before the operation.
There's another green Saxo that had Roadhunters on the side. It was numbers 4, 5, 7.
That was me racing at Autocross.
Oh, yeah, well that were in.
Andrew, come on, get with the ball.
That were in June. So.
Yeah, we got earlier than that. It must have been like.
But I ain't got any pictures of it before that. So.
No, fair enough. So I think I was quite early, probably in the year, and then obviously everything had happened.
And you still went and bought it like a true legend.
Because I don't always make... Well, sorry, I don't make good decisions. Yeah, I don't make good decisions. Well, I do. It's a great decision.
And then moving on from that decision, you then went and thought, oh, you know what, let's go and change my career completely.
Yeah. So we kind of getting some normality back to the year. And I went and did the autocross race. Then I thought, right, let's get out in the Saxo now. And, Jamie being the absolute legend that he is, I was storing at his place with his 205s, which I'm going to really try and showcase on the channel this year because they're fucking awesome. And he drove the car up there for us. We went up there with sort of, him and his missus, and it was awesome. I think Harry was there. Dave Ewan popped over to come say hi, which legend that he is. And I did this event in a car that was not set up for autocross. The car's far too low, far too stiff. We were bouncing everywhere. The car was either like didn't have traction, I was spinning up because it was like jumping the front, or I was on Toyos, Proxies on grass. Not the best idea if you want to get grip.
No, because they're like track tyres.
Yes. But what an experience. It was great. Absolutely loved it. And by the end of it, so in fact, there's a vlog where I'd gone on it. So you do your sort of practice runs. I think I'd had to do a run because it was my first time as well, just showing I can kind of get round basically. And I'd done the timed runs, so I can't remember how many timed runs I had. Let's say I had 4 timed runs. So I'd done the first one and I was appalling, just because I didn't know how to drive it, and even down to like the rev gauge and learning where the revving is and all this stuff. But I was getting the speed up by like the third one, and you go off in groups of 4. And then Jamie went to me, he goes, right, for this last one, you're not going to use the brake. What? Yeah, you're going to throw the car and you're going to use the handbrake if you have to. And every time I see the brakes come on, I'm going to hit you. All right, okay. Well, to be fair, I like a challenge. So, cool. Let's go for it then. So, we also launched it in second gear to try and get some grip. And that actually works a lot better. And then I just went around and didn't touch the brakes, and I was 30-something seconds quicker on the 4 5 lap race than it was, like ridiculous amount, considering this is a shorter track than Rallycross. So that kind of showed that I just needed to stop being a little bitch. Really.
What we need to also get is, now that I've experienced it, watching Jonathan getting in and out of the car.
I could do it in the time frame legally needed by Motorsport UK or whatever the bloody hell it is. That's it. It isn't graceful. I'm a chunky guy. I'm not necessarily the most flexible, despite an Olympic weightlifting background, so I should be. Yeah, that was interesting. But, yeah, it was such good fun. I even had... so autocross is very much a no-contact sport. You do go off in groups of 4, but there's no contact. You can just go off on your own. You do stage ones as well. I then proceeded to then have a Mark 1 Focus shaped dent in the side of my car, because I went to do an overtake. Awesome. Didn't work out in the end. And then I ended up with a Mark 1 Focus on my inside. I left him plenty enough room. Because it was rutted to hell, he jumped out of a rut and basically went into my car. He came running over afterwards and apologised. It is what it is. It's motorsport. I'm going into Rallycross. There's going to be many more times where, the car's going to get hit and things are going to happen. And then on the next run, his car exploded into fire.
Bit of karma.
Don't want to say it was karma, but just saying, But yeah, that was such a great experience. It was cheap. I would do autocross again. Not in the Saxo. I would do it in a completely different car that's made for it. But yeah, it was a really cool experience. So that would have been June.
Yeah, that rings. Well, yeah, that's when the picture was.
Yeah. And then kind of coming after that, yeah, I decided to. I should probably point out around this time as well, I kind of had a breakdown, pretty much. So, for those who don't know me, I was raised in a cult pretty much, growing up with homophobic and racist ideologies, and kind of put in by some of my alcoholic parents. And I got to there and at 36 and pretty much broke down for various things, which I'm sure one day I'll probably go into a lot more with people when that's, I suppose, required. So I was kind of in a bit of a mess then. Everything, my personal life, came very close to kind of collapsing, but at the same time, it's the better for it, obviously. I'm better for it. I'm less physically ill because of that. I'm also in ex-cult therapy, which I didn't even know was a thing. And I also didn't know ex-JW specialist therapy was even a thing. So there you go. It is. No, but that's good. So I kind of, yeah. So I think you'd gone on a holiday at the time.
Quite possibly. I went on quite a few last year.
You
That's
did
why I
go
had
on
no
that.
money to
It's
fix the
why
car.
you had no car. And I think you'd gone on holiday, so we kind of misrecorded for it. And you came back, and I was just in a fucking wreck, and I wasn't recording.
Yeah. And
But
that's
then,
when
you know,
you decided, let's
yeah.
just have a massive career change. Well,
So
not.
then I decided to have a career change. Yeah. Well, I didn't. Well, I did. So I got a message from the person who was actually mine and Andrew's, like final year tutor at university. We studied architectural technology. Me and Andrew worked in the same place, and we'd got this. Yeah, I'd got this message from her, and there's a job going. Do you want to apply for it? And I'm like, well, don't know really. That's the bit. I moved into more engineering. I was doing FEA analysis, doing all this kind of stuff, and going down to get my, my ICE accreditations. And then I decided, sod it, let's go for it. And for whatever reason, I'm now doing my PhD proposal on inclusive neurodiverse design, and to basically destroy the entire built environment industry and rebuild it using virtual reality, and lecturing after a full semester at university. So the workload for that, I basically got to working every weekend. I was working, with Andrew at where we worked, and then I was working every evening. So that basically meant there was no recordings that happened because I was ridiculous. I can confirm the amount of work a lecturer does, by the way, is no joke.
Yeah, and I think that
Stupid.
was probably up until probably December.
Yeah. And, it was mental. Mental. Best decision.
I was going to say, obviously, everything that happened in 2023,
yeah. It was like...
You've got a much better...
Exactly, we're in a lot better position
now.
But what? Just... There were some of the lowest points I have been at, but then just rocketed to some of the highest points as well. And we're kind of going into it now, I think, in a really good position. You're doing well at work. I think, that's to be said. I'm doing well. Like our personal lives are probably stronger positions. Mine's certainly in a stronger position than it ever has been. Busier than I ever have been, but I'm
it's
also...
good busy.
Yeah, exactly. And what it's made me do is stop doing this because I'm a big procrastinator. So I will start something, I'll stop it, and I'll have this massive, major thing I'm going to do. And I'll put everything into that. And then I'll stop that. And then I'll do to that. And then go to that. And you're just juggling it. So I've basically just cut everything back to what actually matters to me. And that is my job, which is pretty much my life. Racing, motorsport, and YouTube. And my home life, and actually trying to socialise again, and trying to, because I'd never socialised for a long time. I didn't really do anything, so mentally that was a thing, and again it's another thing. We're in a good place again now. So it's like, yeah, 2023's here. It's going to be another difficult year, obviously.
But it's going to be much more positive than last year, shall we say?
And Andrew just went on holiday. He was cool. He just went on holiday instead of spending it on cars.
Yeah, pretty much. What can you say?
It's probably a good idea. I probably should have done the same instead of buying
nice.
the Saxo and spending it all.
I mean, it was sad not being able to go out in it. I do miss driving it, and I'm sure as soon as I drive it again, I'll be like, oh my god, I miss this so much.
Too right. Especially when you get it back on track as well. You can really go for it.
Exactly.
Really open it up. So yeah, we disappeared for a while.
But we returned better than
We're
ever.
back. Yeah,
I've even got a shirt on, so
you have. You have. That's the commitment. Mainly because we thought I'd be like dealing with Ella at hospital, so we've got to put it off for another couple of weeks. Well, that didn't happen. So yeah,
here we are.
here we are. So that was our 2022, and then we ended at 2023, and KENBLOCK died.
Yeah, so, we started on good thoughts, but I ended 2022 with this, so,
You did. Your better half
Oh.
getting you an absolute legend of a Christmas present.
Yeah.
Quality. So yeah, that's where we went. What else were we going to talk about?
That were about it, I think. I mean, we're at
That-
25 minutes anyway, so...
I really do talk a lot, don't I? I do apologise, everybody. But yeah, and also some really cool people I met last year and got close to as well, with the likes of Jardine, Jamie, Dave, and that, and a few other people. And met some really cool people last year, though.
Yeah.
And yes, we're here in a stronger position, and it kind of
You don't
showcases.
sound very positive about it, but
Yeah.
we are.
It's a still struggle to show happiness. I'm either acting a fucking idiot and being completely over the top, or just like, I don't know, like just dying. Still sober though throughout 2022. Didn't drink, so that was good.
Yes.
Came very close at this Christmas though. Out of everything, that was bloody hard.
Yeah.
But that's over with as well. So yeah, but it's kind of made me realise this is why I wanted to start this YouTube with you, for my reasons. One, the selfishness of I want to get some, backing, and we can go racing and we can do all the crazy car stuff. But it was also for like, I remember watching the likes of KENBLOCK and going, there is actually another world out there, and one day I could not be in this world I'm in.
Yep.
So yeah, it's kind of relit a few fires as well, I think, 2022.
Yep. I completely agree.
Yeah, so back, I think that's a good thing.
Yep.
I'm happy about it. 2023 will push. Back end of 2023 should be a lot more. I should be racing. I should be doing Blighton, but I'll talk about that on Monday because it's a little up in the air now.
Yep.
And I'm going to stop talking about crap, but thank you for everybody, because we didn't really lose any subscribers either. We gained a few, and there was an awful lot of support actually shown to us, and that was really cool.
Yeah, we appreciate it all.
So yeah, we're going to absolutely kill it.
Yeah.
Bad choice of words.
Yeah.
Slay. We're going to slay.
Yes.
Oh my days, that was a really bad choice of word as well, actually. And stop talking.
On that, I guess we'll say bye.
Good day. Stay safe. Cheerio.
Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.